Hello all. Today we trace Punjab's journey from NFHS round 4 to NFHS round 5 and see what this land of five rivers has done in terms of child malnutrition and related parameters. Overall, the way the story has unfolded shows that Punjab has fared well in terms of reduction in child malnutrition, particularly wasting, but it hasn't performed well on child mortality front, which is surprising and also a matter of concern, and also anemia. In Punjab, if you look at the two natural regions, the NSSO regions, north and south, there isn't much regional variation, though the northern region has done fair bit better, and certain clusters in the southern region need attention. So it's important to map this journey to emphasize the need for decentralized planning. And as we have always mentioned, we have used the website nfhs4.indiagis.org and nfhs5.indiagis.org for this analysis. Viewers are encouraged to visit this site, very user friendly, do their own analysis, draw their own additional conclusions. To begin with, we have introduced a relatively newer element, a certain overview of the state which has a relevance to the analysis. What you see on the slide is one map on your left which shows the child population in different districts. Now, what is the implication of this? If the district has less child population and the incidence of malnutrition is low, then that's the best case scenario. And we thought this is relevant from the point of view of any attempt to make a district Kuposhan Mukt. The second figure that we have shown shows a strip in darker brick color, which shows a stronger concentration of the scheduled caste population. So Punjab, you would know, hardly has any scheduled tribe population, but there is a sizable scheduled caste population. So these districts would also require attention. We also are providing an overview. Here you see at a glance Punjab's performance in terms of stunting, wasting, severe wasting and underweight between NFHS 4 and NFHS 5, and you see steady reduction. But you also notice that Punjab's position is way better than the all India averages. These are the dotted lines and the figures are there. On the right hand side, we also show you the districts color coded in terms of these parameters. Now, the advantage of this is if you see a particular district which has shown in the green band for all the parameters, then it's doing better than most others. And whereas there could be a district down below which is red in all parameters, then that's something which needs closer attention. Other districts are occupying intermediate positions. We have arranged these districts in a descending order of wasting. So you can see the grouping, but it's interesting to see it on the map. We have also done one interesting analysis this time, and this is for viewers' consideration whether it is useful. What we did was each of the parameters, stunting, wasting, underweight, severe wasting, we normalized it from 0 to 100. So the maximum value was 100 and the minimum value was set at 0. And then we looked at the score of that district. And then these four scores were combined together and an average was taken. So for example, if you look at the top district, Ludhiana, in stunting it has a score of 67, 7. Wasting 100 because it says least wasting. Similarly, severe wasting, and underweight it is 92. So its composite score becomes something like 89, average of the 4. Similarly, you have districts like Mukt, which has done fairly badly in all the segments. His score is very low. Now you see the advantage that you see a clear strip of underperforming districts, so which gives us an idea of where to focus, and we also see clusters of performing districts. Now this is a relatively different way of analyzing. We thought it is important to place it before the viewers, and they can judge on their own whether it's useful or not so useful. We then move to malnutrition indicators and come to underweight. If you look at underweight, we see reasonable improvement across the state. The data range remains similar, but the southern strip of 3 districts, here we have kept the range same, both for NFHS 4 and NFHS 5, because we always mention that there is a comparison of Punjab with itself between NFHS 4 and NFHS 5. We are not comparing Punjab with any other district. And in this, you will also notice that the data range has come down on the lower end from 12.8 to 10.8 for underweight. When it comes to stunting, we again see reasonable reduction, but the southwestern cluster this time is a matter of concern. You would see the upper end of the data range from NFHS 4, 34.8, has actually gone to 36.6. It's not a good thing to happen, though it has come down on the lower end from 70.6 to 15.1, but that's only in respect of one odd district. So that part needs to be taken into account. When we come to wasting, this is where we see considerable improvement. And this will also bring us to that slightly counterintuitive observation about child mortality, which will come to that in a while. But you see significant reduction in wasting. The lower and upper bound of the data has also come down from 9.5 to 5.9. That's quite significant at the lower end. And from 22.6 to 15.4, I think that's also commendable. So this is something that Punjab should look at with satisfaction. When it comes to severe wasting, we again see considerable improvement, but there are a couple of surprises here. One or two districts doing rather badly, but one needs to see why this has happened. The upper bound in severe wasting has come down from 12.5 to 9.1, though given the prosperity and agricultural prosperity of Punjab, this should come down fairly rapidly. I think that's something which the state would look at. If you look at performance improvement, you'll notice that in stunting and underweight, the improvement is between 0 to 10%. We have just given this additional figure. So what number of districts have shown improvement? This is another interesting way of looking at it. You'll notice that every time a new way of looking at the data gets added. I think this is courtesy the students in our group, always curious, always wanting to put new techniques of visualization. So the credit must go to them. If it comes to child mortality, we notice that Punjab has been a bit sluggish when it comes to reduction in either under 5 mortality. From 33 to 32.7 is not a big deal. Infant mortality reduction is also from 29.2 to 28, which is also not very encouraging. And the neonatal mortality from 21.2 to 21.8, this is Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Interestingly, urban Punjab has also not brought down its mortality rates. Now, this is something which is a matter of concern. We have done very well in reducing wasting on one hand, but the corresponding effect on child mortality are not seen. This needs a closer look. If you look at anemia, this story has repeated in many of the states. Anemia levels have gone up sharply, particularly the lower data range from 44.6 to straight away 60.6. We have maintained that NFHS 5 anemia data needs to be looked at a little more closely. We come to all women, 50 to 49-year age group. We see that the lower bound has again gone up from 40.9 to 49.8. This southern green strip has completely vanished. At the higher end, though, interestingly, from 74.5, it has come down to 66.9. But as we said, anemia data needs to be looked at a little more closely. We mentioned about the NSSO region. Usually we have brought before you analysis of some of the best performing districts. This time we thought it will be useful exercise to do the analysis in terms of the two NSSO regions which Punjab has, the northern and the southern. You see them on the map. And interestingly, when it comes to underweight, the northern region and the southern region, they have done fairly well. Let me remind the viewers that the green bell curve represents the WHO representative curve. The red one is NFHS 5 and the grey one is NFHS 4. Now you see a clear shift towards the green bell curve between NFHS 4 and NFHS 5. And the arrow which we have drawn at -3, this is -3 standard deviation. This is something below which the WHO reference curve shows 0% of children, practically 0. So here also you see both northern and southern. The area on the left-hand side of this arrow is very small. So I think Punjab should seriously look at this aspect. Can this be brought to 0? When it comes to stunting, stunting again, we see the northern region has done a wee bit better compared to the southern region. When it comes to wasting, I think the northern region has done considerably well. In fact, it can aspire, I mean, not just a district, but it can aspire to be a Kuposhan Mukt NSSO region. That will be a great feat. And with that, we will also encourage viewers to look at some of the districts of Punjab, Hoshiarpur, for example, which would have done better within the northern region, and whether the government can consider or the civil society can consider Roopnagar or Hoshiarpur to become the Kuposhan Mukt districts of India. Maybe this is one area where Punjab could probably beat others. The overall story is similar to Haryana. Punjab has fared well in terms of reduction in child malnutrition. On child mortality, we have raised this concern. It has performed sluggishly. The southwestern cluster needs some attention, particularly 4 or 5 bottom districts. But at the same time, number of districts in Punjab can afford to be Kuposhan Mukt and to be more ambitious, the whole northern region for that matter. We leave the viewers with this thought and some of these new ways of looking at the data, and we proceed with the analysis of other states. Thank you very much.